We're talking about Chris Christie, folks, and so this is going to be maybe my hottest take, the take that I think I'm going to be the most wrong on, or either I'm going to be the most right and I'm going to be some kind of political genius. Okay, but I don't think that people should be counting out Chris Christie just yet. The night is young. Anything can happen. Anything can happen in American politics. Don't you guys know? But anyway, Chris Christie has been coming out hot out of the gates, attacking Donald Trump. Okay. And so for me right now, if I'm looking at what would happen if Donald Trump didn't win the nomination, if I'm looking at that, the two candidates that I think have the best shot of having popular support coalesce around them, having the Republican establishment coalesce around them, and having other candidates sort of coalesce around them, is Chris Christie. He has the most governing experience, and he really appeals to pretty hardcore Republicans. Okay, he's a Republican's Republican. Okay, very very centrist, very respectable, knowledgeable feeling. He feels very knowledgeable. Um, and so I think that if he is able to succeed in getting his message out there, if it lands somewhat, I think that he can keep climbing in the polls. And if the Republican establishment wants to move on from Trump, if they think that that's a possibility, I think the odds of them coalescing around Chris Christie could be or are very high. Let's just put it that way. The only other wild card that I throw in there, again, is Glenn Youngkin, governor of Kentucky. If he decides to hop in this race, I think he's a little bit better than Chris Christie, more of a blank slate. But again, Chris Christie has a lot of name recognition, and that means a lot. That definitely does mean a lot. Again, I think that Donald Trump's base of support is between 40 and 30% of the Republican base. I think 30 to 40% of the Republican base will never leave Trump. They are forever Trumpers. They're voting for Donald Trump or they're not voting at all. Okay? And no one is going to change their mind. They're too deep. Okay? So if people are able to dwindle down Trump's support, down to 40, 30%, and then there's a candidate who can get more than Donald Trump, right, from the rest of the scraps that fall off of him, then it's very possible that somebody else could win the Republican nomination. Okay, that's gonna have to be what happens. Everybody except his most fervent supporters are gonna have to drop him. So, it could be a situation where he has 44% of the Republican electorate, but somebody has 45. And then there's a few other candidates who just refuse to drop out who have the rest of the thing, right? The rest of the pie, right? So it's very possible. I think it can happen, okay? Donald Trump could definitely dip below 50. That's possible, okay? I don't think anybody's debating that Trump dipping below 50 is, impossible, right? It's happened very recently. So if there's enough attack on Donald Trump where people start looking somewhere else, I think Chris Christie, as the field currently stands, is the best person to pick them all up. Again, folks, we will see if it actually ends up working that way. But I think people are unnecessarily harsh on Chris Christie. I think he does have a really good chance. And again, I guess we just all have to wait and see how this plays out. I'm so goddamn excited. Once the debates start popping off, it's going to be a cornucopia of content. It's just like a Chinese buffet of content. You just pick up a little bit of what you want. You wish you could get it to it all, but anyway, that's it, folks. That's the last of all the Republicans in this race. So let me run down them real quick. We got Donald Trump. We got Ron DeSantis. We got Nikki Haley. We got Vivek Ramaswamy. We got Tim Scott. We got Asa Hutchinson, Larry Elder, Mike Pence, Doug Burnham, and Francis Suarez. And that's it. That's all the people who are in right now. Okay. We'll keep you updated. Follow, like, and subscribe. You know the drill. We are running it for 2024. It's going to be spectacular. You're not going to want to miss it, folks.